third game. We saw Leshrac support, but definitely not as common as the core that we so often see. And I don't think you would want to put it on anyone else but G anyway, because, God, the guy has ridiculous games every single time I see him on it, regardless of circumstance. So looking forward to seeing him playing that here in the third game. But last bans out from Navi. Navi's still looking for, I guess, at this point, they're going to need an offlaner.
They banned the Centaur.
Very nice. I think the Centaur would have been the perfect hero to end out Virtus.Pro's lineup.
Brood is the perfect hero. If Navi's last pick doesn't help with dealing with it, I think it could ruin the game.
I just think that they're more scared of the Centaur for his counter initiation potential and just being able to abuse the relocate, because looking at the heroes on paper, if you try to run away or like run in to Navi's lineup, there is the risk of getting hit by cooldowns and fissures and you take some kind of residual damage. But if you had the utilization of Stampede, you would be on top of them in seconds, and even a relocate might not save you. Or if you try to relocate gank, you can always get away. Like, it's a guaranteed we just run. So I think it also would have been very nice, but Navi not going to be able to pick up the Bloodseeker. Last ban here from Virtus.Pro. We're still thinking offlane Shaker, right? So this has to be another support.
I'm wondering if Navi are thinking it for themselves even. But it's worse for them than it is for VP, but it's still a good pick. The Brood. It could be a potential choice. They have a lot of time to think about it. They have more than a minute and a half, so
it would lead the Shadow Demon Kunkka pretty much. They would have to stick themselves top.
Yeah, but they could. The thing is, they can own the Brood. They can like keep ganking it. But the question is if it's worth it. Like, if we've seen games where Brood gets killed 3 times in a lane and still has a really big impact, and the other lanes thrive. So it's something for Navi to consider if they want to do it. Funnick, definitely a capable Brood player. What else is really good pick here?
I mean, a lot of the go-to stuff is pretty much banned out, right? And it's going to be Sand King, so
interesting.
A little bit greedy. Does that mean... I guess it means Sand King offlane, or are they going to be greedy in jungle Sand King? I mean, I guess the question is, do you actually value getting a very quick Blink Dagger on the Sand King, or do you value the Shaker maybe getting more farm priority? Because right now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if you jungle the Sand King, I think your lanes are actually too greedy, because Virtus.Pro can still punish, right? Like,
yeah.
Their lineup is actually capable of going aggressive, and with their setup, they can kill. So I'm kind of curious.
I'm not sure what's the best call here. I think you need to see the 5th pick for VP first before you make the decision. You're just keeping your options open. And they actually have a hero that can stand against Brood now, which is interesting. Like, it is a possibility for them to run the SK into Brood, which is fine. Like, Sand King doesn't stomp Brood like Axe does or do as well as Darkseer, but it's definitely a winnable lane or just a tie. And then that opens up your other lanes for possible plays. So if VP were thinking about Brood, they might think twice. So I have a feeling that we might end up with the puck you were talking about. I feel like it's a really, really good pick here.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, okay, last pick.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I forgot. They actually didn't prioritize a hero at all. I think the second game, it was banned, correct? The first game, it wasn't.
It's a core Kunkka.
All right.
Offlane.
Something that we don't really get a chance to see that much.
Well, it is a pretty sick trial, let's be honest. Disruption into Torrent and then Soul Assumption is very deadly.
That's almost a guaranteed kill. Like, even on Gyro, if you get like level 2 or 3, that combination is insane.
That's where Io is a wild card, though. Can maybe keep Provost alive when he reaches level 2 with the overcharge and just bottling up. It's a very, very good counter to like the single target burst that this Trialing brings. But if they do it right on level 1, this could be a problem for Navi, as it looks like they will be supporting with the Shaker on Art Style and running the Sand King on Funnick. And what would the implications be for the other lanes? Like, assuming VP run aggressive, they don't have to, right? They could also just play safe lane. But if they run aggressive, they would have a Kunkka versus Sand King lane, which I think is a very interesting matchup. I'm not sure there's a clear favorite in that one.
I think Sand King actually is slightly favored.
Yeah, but it's one of the melee heroes that can deal with Sand King because of Tidebringer.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you Sandstorm, you can use things like Tidebringer and Torrent to even take him out of it if you wanted to try to go for a gank. But if you're not good about jostling in and out of creeps, like, I guess it comes down to who plays better, right? Because if you can dodge Caustic, you should actually be fine on Kunkka. So maybe it is kind of a 50-50. But third game in the series here, Navi taking on Virtus.Pro. Currently the winner bracket finals here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague season number 3. Both teams exchanging pleasantries before we kind of get things kicked off. So I'm thinking, in terms of what you were saying earlier about the lane implication, if it ends up being 1v1, like G versus Dendi mid, I think Dendi will actually struggle against Leshrac, because, I mean, SF has pretty horrendous base damage, and you're going to need like 3 to 5 to be able to reliably CS with your Raze. But I think they have a lot of comeback mechanisms, right? Like, they can stack the jungle like mad. If they're losing, though, there is always a potential that VP can just steal their stacks too, because they have Kunkka and Lesh and Bristleback, all good heroes at contesting. So I don't know. I gotta say on paper, I really like VP's draft.
I like both drafts. I'm not sure there's a clear favorite here, to be honest.
Oh, I'm not saying it's like a win for one team over draft.
Oh, you just like it?
I just like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I
like drafts with Kunkka, so I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you. I definitely agree. Kunkka's a really cool hero to watch. You know, what could be cool that VP could in theory do here is that they could take Navi by surprise by farming the Visage safe lane and running the Kunkka Shadow Demon roaming on DK Phobos as a support this game. But they're going to stick to their roles and just play it safe in a way. And we'll put Kunkka bottom together with the Visage. The Shadow Demon will help out in mid in the start. They want to shut down Dendi as much as possible. There's no obvious support to help out Dendi. They could have the Wisp in there from the start, but he will start top lane with Gyro of Chvost.
Now these lanes actually, I think, slightly favor Navi at this point. Because you're going to have the Wisp and the Gyro up in the top lane. It's going to be going up against Solo Lesh. So Illidan going to be handling that, and then the G Bristleback means that, yeah, G's probably not going to die, but I think Dendi will probably be safe as well. And getting the Shadow Fiend early farm, like getting to that BKB as soon as possible, has got to be a priority for him this game. Like, their team is actually so scary that, yeah, he might go for the mech first, but then after that, I have to assume it's like mech BKB instantly.
Yeah, this is definitely a BKB game for both teams. It's going to be a very key item.
I gotta say, I don't feel like VP were necessarily expecting the dodge. I mean, if you look at it and you think that Navi are expecting an aggressive tri-lane, then it would be obvious that you're going up here. But the VP, I think, are maybe a little bit caught off guard by the way the lanes are right now. Because Funnick is going to be fine. Like, if he sits down here, he's going to get free XP. This is a hero who does not need to farm his lane. Like, he can eventually recover by just stacking a couple of camps in the jungle. Even if he finds, like, a handful of levels, he's going to be more than okay. This is actually more than most Sand Kings get when we see them played. So I think they'll be okay with that. The middle matchup, obviously, again, Denny's going to farm. He's already got a stick available. Top lane, probably not going to see any kills, but VP are not going to be, I think, too pleased with this right now.
I think we could very well see kills if they try to dive because they have the Wisp.
Yeah.
And the TP support that VP can bring in is kind of underwhelming. They can port in a level... Oh, actually, he is level 2 on the Visage, so maybe there is some counterplay potential. Or, of course, they could port in the Kunkka, but that's super unreliable, and he doesn't even have one right now, so... Artstyle is trying to get in position. He is going to go for the Fissure.
Yeah, he's stuck on the other side, taking quite a bit of damage here. Disruption comes out. Lil teleporting top lane. Stun's going to follow it up. Havos could be in some trouble. Saneko trying to heal him up with those bottle charges. He's going to take so much damage, though. Lil secures the first blood with that Soul Assumption. VP on the board.
And this rotation... This is the exact way that Visage can do it. When Shadow Demon uses the Disruption aggressively, just like that, I thought he was going to need to use it defensively to keep Lesh alive, but Lesh tanky enough in that situation to allow the Shadow Demon to play the aggressive play, and a great rotation around from the Visage here is going to leave Phobos bottom lane one-on-one against Funnick, but of course, one of the boons of Kunkka in this lane is whenever Sandstorm comes off, you can always just Torrent on the center. And even though it doesn't hit, you at least stop the Sandstorm. So
it's not an efficient mana trade, though.
No, it definitely isn't. But it's better than just letting Sand King just free Sandstorm in the lane.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess the counterpoint to that is you push the lane out if you're just sandstorming freely, and then the Kunkka farms under his tower, which I don't think is too big of a deal for him. He can just buy a Stout Shield. It becomes a real big problem. So I don't know if the lane itself is really going to have much volatility. I think it's more, what do these heroes get out of the lane? Because right now, Kunkka is still getting some farm. He's going to probably be maxing Torrent just for the combo potential. But Funnick, I think him getting to a Blink Dagger faster is more important for Navi than Phobos getting EXP.
And when you look at the solo, like this matchup here, Funnick is going to have to use Salm now. It's possible that just over time, Phobos might take the advantage in this lane. He is obviously out-leveled for now as he's shared experience with the Visage in the start. But it's not out of the question that Phobos could get the kill, or with any sort of support rotation, definitely could find the Sand King. Whereas killing the Kunkka is, well, what supports can Navi rotate that can do it? I guess maybe a Fissure when you Burrow Strike into Epi could work, but I still think he could just go ship and run. So it's a lot more difficult for Navi to find the kill on that one-on-one lane.
That is very, very true. I think we're going to not really see much come out in the way of Navi for ganks unless it's on the top lane or until Relocate comes out. and that's going to be when Navi are going to start looking to try to make some counter plays. But everything kind of looking stable here in the early game for both teams. I'd say that the cores maybe not farming quite as well on the side of Navi. Shadow Fiend still trailing G a tiny bit in terms of CS, but he will of course get more and more as we're going to see a disruption up top here. Very nice defensive fissure coming out, preventing Illidan from getting that split earth. But Seneko just being annoying. Good old haste rune. I mean, given static lanes, you kind of have to think that that's still better for Na'Vi in the end, because even though the Wisp isn't getting a ton of experience, they're not getting punished for picking pretty greedy supports, I would say. Like Shaker or Wisp, that is damn greedy.
But it's really balancing on a knife's edge here, where if Na'Vi make a single misplay up here, they're probably going to lose 2 heroes this time. Like, it is working out very well for them for now, and they need to keep playing exactly this way and just being happy with trading farm, which they're doing more or less. The Lesh has a little bit more than Gyro, but oh, yeah.
G going for the man dive here. Dendy trying to bottle up Seneko
nice
with the
TP.
body block. G, he's going to get taken down there. Actually ends up dying to creeps, looks like, but still a very nice turnaround from Na'Vi.
And G couldn't even see that TP. Then he would have probably retreated there. Very nicely done by Seneko. We've seen him do this multiple times in this tournament. Just very good at doing the defensive rotation to save Dendy. They've got some very good teamwork going.
Denji getting caught out here with a rocket barrage. Throws at the soul catcher. Illidan going for the stun. What a fissure coming in from Art Style, though. No split earth to follow that one up. I dare say that would have been a kill.
For sure.
If that stun landed with the soul catcher.
Absolutely. Lil would have reached the Grave Chill as well and probably had 3 or 4 stacks in the Soul Assumption and blown him up. So, again, nice defensive play from Na'Vi. That 1 kill, holy crap, that gave a lot of gold. If you look at that, that's insane.
Yeah, that spike in the early game. Wow. Pretty tremendous, actually. I don't even know how that works. Whatever. Dota 2's a game, apparently. But Dendy continually farming away here in mid.
Oh, wait a second. I just saw the chat saying he stole boots. That bottom lane.
When did he steal boots?
That's bad news for the Kunkka.
Oh, God.
I guess he dropped them to just try to regen a little bit extra, and then Funnick caught him off guard with a Burrow Strike and stole them.
Oh.
That's the gold swing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like,
that makes more sense. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right.
What?
All right, that is, yeah, that's not great.
He basically lost 1,000 net worth on the Kunkka.
Yeah. That is absolutely painful. Well, bottom lane 1 for Funnick, I guess. That's good enough,
right? It was
right?
close, and now he just has a pretty major lead all of a sudden.
The problem is now, if Navi for whatever reason lose this game, he's going to be like, I actually stole 1,000 gold away from that Kunkka in the lane. How do we lose? But, of course, we're still very far from even seeing who's going to have a little bit of an advantage here. I guess on paper, you kind of have to say Navi. The boot steal is obviously very big, and then you also have to consider, again, not really punishing the Wisp. And in fact, Seneko has had an impact on his own just by TPing and stopping G from getting a kill on Dendy, and in fact killing the Bristle himself. So all things considered,
6 as a result. Minute 7:30. This is a very early relocate. I'm not sure what the average level 6 time is hit Wisp hits is, but it's above 10, I think.
I think you actually want to relocate maybe the Sand King. Maybe the best hero to take to a fight.
Oh, you know the pre-channeled epi into relocate?
That is the dankest of memes.
That is.
You can make that happen.
Absolutely the greatest of plays, yes.
Yeah.
Great choice of words.
Whatever, man. I was trying to step up my game. Don't flame.
No hate. Oh, Funnick tries to get the rune. He's going to regret this.
Very greedy.
Big time. Oh, wait a second.
Misses.
It missed.
He's still dead. Maybe he can deny to Roshan.
Oh,
that soul catcher actually backfiring for VP. That was very unfortunate timing there.
First he steals his boots, then he steals his kill.
He actually has like no gold. All right, what has he bought? All right, he's going for the second pair of tranquils.
The average is level 5.5 minute 10.
So he's actually very far ahead of
average. He's
level 6 at 8.5, so he is definitely in there. G, he's got Invis Rune here. He's going to be trying to scout out in the woods. He will find Dendy, but there are 10 stick charges, and Dendy also has a TP, so there is pretty much 0 kill potential on this hero right now.
This early game is looking really good for Navi. Like it's 1 for 2, but the 1 kill that it looks like VP got was a deny to Roche. So effectively 1 for 1. Boots are stolen. I'm curious to see what Phobos does with his boots now. If he doesn't build Tranquils now, he's like, fuck it, now I don't...
Well, he bought the Ring of Protection again.
Oh, yeah, oh, you're right. Yeah, he's probably going to
If he has Soul Ring, I think Tranquils are pretty much the best
TP
choice. Top lane. Relocate comes in. Funnick, he's going to get the epicenter off. He wants to go for a little bit more here, or maybe just wants to go on retreat from G. He's going to eat another raise. He's getting very low. Needs to be careful. Dendi wants to go in here. Long range raise on cooldown. Relocate going to take them back, or maybe not Funnick because he's in that disruption. Lil, he's going to eat a fissure. Funnick securing that one. Now Artstyle, he's on the run. Courier in the fray as well. Funnick still nearby, has one bottle charge, but unfortunately gets interrupted. He's not going to get enough mana for that kill. G in the meantime picks up the kill on the side onto Artstyle. Here comes the Torrent. This one will land. Funnick, he's going to pop the Sandstorm.
Though.
Yeah, I mean, he still has it. He can force him out, I think. Or maybe not. The Tether and the bottle charge giving enough mana for Funnick to stun. He's going to try to make his way back to the tower. The lightning slow and the boat coming in. It's a little bit too slow. Maybe not. Didn't see the X there under the water, and they will pull Saneko back into a kill. Ends up being a little bit of an even exchange.
DK Phobos looks slightly uncomfortable with this hero. I think he doesn't play it very much, but for them to pick it, he must have practiced it. He must have practiced it, but his combos are a little bit off. I'm not going to blame the hero for his Tranquils getting stolen. I don't think that's hero specific at all.
Yeah.
But this... He does end up killing the Wisp, but I think the Sand King would have been a bigger kill, and he could have definitely got that with the ship timing there.
He might have just assumed that that would have been enough to secure, and maybe there was miscommunication because they had no detection on
It's
VP.
just such a low cooldown ult. You just really you want to secure. It's a 1 minute cooldown on level 1. It's such an incredible ability, actually.
POP, that damage reduction too. I don't know, like, this early game doesn't seem as drastically bad for VP as it was in the second game, or even the first game. But the real problem is that Dendi is a beast. He has 94 CS, relocate, bottom lane. They're going to go for Lil. The bird stuns are there. Hits on 3, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him alive. He's kind of just buying time. Or Soul Assumption walks it off to the side. How does he actually just casually walk out of this one? DK Phobos nearby, has 3 points into X, might throw a Torrent to try to break that Sandstorm, but Funnick is already the heck out of there. FNG gets disrupted, X going to be there as well, Soul Catcher into an immediate stun. Still no detection, but this time I think they will get him.
Wait, can they transition this into a tower, though, is the question. And like you pointed out, Dendi is so fucking farmed. Like,
he has 102 CS, Midas, and a kill with 2 assists.
You know, there was an interview earlier where he was told he had 81 CS at minute 10, and he was like, that's not possible. How can I have that? There's not that many creeps.
Yeah.
Well, you've got 100 in 11 minutes, so...
Decent.
Just improved his record. This is almost perfect farm. Like, of course, he could have gotten more in the mid lane, as Bristle will, of course, contest him a little bit, but he has just been left almost untouched. This is ridiculous farm. He has Midas as well as a mech minute 11. Already almost treads on top of that. VP are going to have a really big problem dealing with him. Look at the net worth.
I think Dendi is the net worth right now.
He is 3,000 ahead of his opponent in the mid lane G.
Well, we said that Shadow Fiend was going to have a pretty easy lane. I would actually put a lot of emphasis, though, on Saneko's teleport reaction to mid lane, because that deterred G from playing aggressive, like, at all. It did result in his death. But the major thing is, Bristleback usually can go for dives, right? Like, you pressure the lane so much that maybe he has to TP back. He can't find as much farm as usual, but just his foresight to just TP there, make sure that Dendi doesn't go down, it just makes it so less likely that G's going to want to do that again.
Yeah. Funnick getting close to his Blink Dagger in the bottom lane here. 1,600 gold. What do you think the win rate is for for Sand King with 2 Tranquils? Oh, ship.
Oh,
he's going to pull him back.
timing.
Ghost is gone.
Yeah, he will die there. Another disruption going to be coming out. FNG making his way back here past the fissure. Going to see a Torrent land onto Dendi, but he is just so unbelievably tanky at this point. Even pops the mech just for good measure. I'm pretty sure that was actually just a waste. And with the mech down, they might want to re-engage into this. There is no stun follow-up, though, coming out from Phobos, and they were not ready right into the Echo. The Requiem comes out as well. Stun coming in from Funnick. They're just going to lose 3. I don't know why they forced that so hard. Like, maybe they saw the mech from Dendi and said, we have an opportunity to go for a counter kill. As long as our X into a stun is good, we might be able to get this. But it did not work. And now all of a sudden Na'Vi going for some counter pressure on this tier 1. They're going to scout out the birds in the woods as well. They will be able to pick off one. Other one flies away, and this is going to be an easy tier 1 for Na'Vi.
I'm just laughing at Funnick's inventory. He's got 2 Tranquil Boots. One of them aren't even his, and they're still broken. It's just like... They're doing nothing. He's just keeping them. He's just basically taunting his opponent. He could drop them and destroy them. He's just running around with them for fun.
The ultimate BM is winning a team fight, dropping him on the ground where your enemy dies, and then killing them. That's like the Ice play, right?
I think he just... Or baiting the enemy, being like, here, you can have your boots back, and then stealing them and then getting a kill.
Oh, FNG. This is not where you want to be, my friend. They might be able to get a turnaround kill, though. On the Havos, stun's going to be coming out here. FNG still alive for the time being. Will eventually drop to that rocket barrage. And FNG actually gets the kill on Havos after he goes down. Demonic Purge damage, proving to be a little bit too much. This is like... Here's the thing, though. If they kill Dendi, like 1 or 2 times... I'd say they're kind of back in it for the time being. My concern is, though, can
bottom
they
lane
kill him?
epicenter.
Yeah, he's going to blink forward here. Finds Lil under the tower. Torrent's going to be there. Lil still standing right now. Not enough damage to kill, and Funnick just ends up giving away one for free.
Maybe not.
Oh, the urn. Yeah, the urn. But the boat not quite.
Just enough.
Yeah, they also managed to find Seneko off on the side there. Wisp just behind enemy lines. Chilling out. Should probably deward this hill after seeing that, but... we will see if VP are on point with that. I assume they will be. And they're also going to deny the tier 1 in the off lane, so... VP, again, still making decent trades.
I don't know what they're going to do about Dendi in like 15 minutes, though. I mean, it's one thing being ahead with Shadowfiend at this point, which we've seen countless times, but he's ahead with a Midas, too. So his farm is just going to ramp up so ridiculously fast that... they're going to need to get enough single target damage to be able to kill him. If you look at VP's lineup right now, they're really good when it comes to like big teamfight AoE abilities. Leshrac, of course, with a lot of spread damage together with Kunkka. The Visage might be the saving grace that could cause a lot of trouble for Dendi, but apart from that, like killing a very fat Shadowfiend is going to be a very big problem. That's not even considering that there's a Wisp to help too.
Well, important to note that Dendi has opted not to go BKB.
He went Blink.
Yeah, he went Blink, which is not a bad item. I'm not saying like the Blink is a bad choice. It's just he is more susceptible to dying without BKB for obvious reasons. Like Leshrac does a tremendous amount of damage. This is a very good item to play around with, though, when you already have Sand King having a Blink at such an early phase. So the Shaker will eventually get his Blink too. Artstyle sitting on 1,400 gold right now. And then you have very good kill potential, and he can just go back for the BKB now. Given the fact that he hasn't died, I think the Blink is still a very solid choice. Increases your farm rate a little bit. We also talked about the combo play, but once he gets BKB and Blink, it is going to be so rough.
They're going to torrent Funnick.
He actually misses the Burrow Strike. The Fissure comes out from Artstyle as well. The backstab is real. Funnick is just trapped here. Will get caught out.
You missed your stun. You deserve to die.
This is punishment. Well, in the meantime, looks like Navi are going to try to counter pressure top. Illidan's up here. He's almost got his Bloodstone, actually.
Oh, Dendi's going in deep for this.
Yeah, he's just giving a little chase.
Just forcing out a rotation. Now they need to be careful that they don't end up being on the receiving end, but they're far enough away. Unless Kunkka can make it. Torrent is going to miss. Can he reach the X?
Almost in range.
No. Oh, looked like he almost got it off there.
Yeah, maybe if you popped a drum charge, you actually would have gotten that. I think he had the Tranquil movement speed and drums available, but not going to pop it for just a lowly Wisp. They don't really get any damage on the tower, but as you said, they do force out the reaction. I'm just curious to see which is the first team who's going to start trying to prioritize Roshan, because I feel like VP almost can't, but if Navi take one good engagement, they just get it.
Absolutely. Well, VP... they currently only have 1 point in this in the nasal goo for Bristle, but
right.
A little bit later on they will actually be able to do it fairly quickly. Like, it's not great, but Bristle and the Medallion and Familiars, it's not too bad. But Navi's still right now definitely the faster team at doing Roche, I would assume. Although they don't have a Medallion of their own. I'm not sure actually.
Well, the thing is, they have good sustain, so they might not kill it super fast, but they have Mech and they have Wisp. So I don't think they would ever be in a state where they were too low to take a team fight and VP came contesting. But VP would also have to contest. I don't really think you can afford to give it away at this point. And Bloodstone, now completed here on Leshrac. Illidan's still continually getting his farm. Okay, he just got 700 gold very quickly. Actually, I think it was like closer to 800 gold that he needed for the Blink Dagger. But now Artstyle is going to have that Blink Echo available. I got to say, I've doubted VP in 2 games where they were behind. I'm not going to do it again because they actually just somehow find ways to just get picks nonstop and drag the game out, even if they're in ridiculously bad spots. But I'm a little bit worried for them right now.
This is the hardest one, I would definitely say. And it's not just about the gold, it's about the actual items and how impactful they are, what Navi are getting. If they were 5,000 gold ahead and it was like you know, maybe a Sanjin Yasha or whatever that resulted in. It wouldn't be that scary, but it's we're looking at a Sanking Blink, an 18-minute Blink Dagger on a support shaker with Arcanes.
Yeah.
Very, very rich is art style, and in addition to that, Dendi, of course, sitting on a hell of a lot of gold as well.
Oh boy.
This fight is big.
Yeah,
The Ghost Ship might be the saving grace
down.
against an Echo Slam. Phobos needs to not get caught by it.
Oh, he's going for the Torrent here. He's going to find Havost on the front line straight away. Epicenter comes in from Funnick. He's going to be able to immediately take down FNG. Echo comes out as well. Dendi, he pops the Requiem. It looks like Navi right now, they want to run away. They've managed to kill one support so far, Seneko, keeping Havost in fighting shape. We're going to see Artstyle taking a little bit of damage as well. Call down comes in, and here comes the cleanup crew from Navi. They managed to get one, make that two. Lil is going to be the third one to drop, most likely, but the Fissure's actually blocking their pathing quite heavily. Artstyle Fissure not really working out in the end. Seneko also drops. Nice Blink Burrow from Funnick. It hits two. Lil drops to just a Burrow Strike itself, and we're going to see Phobos drop in the end. That is the team fight that Navi were looking for, and that was actually a 5-man wipe. It's just the Bloodstone respawned Lashrak so fast that he didn't have a death timer.
Yeah, 5 for 3. Really nice bait play from Hvost. He wanted to get caught. He went out there. He gets X'd. They used the ship to try to burst him with the Tarn as well, and then they just relocate him like 700 range to the left, so he's still a part of the fight but dodges the entire combo, and that also sets up for the nice epicenter there from Funnick. So very well executed fight from Navi. And the scary thing is they actually played that fight super well, and it was still only 5 for 3. Like that could have, if they don't play a fight that well, they could very easily just get wiped by VP the other way.
That Fissure, though. Like, that Fissure actually ended up making them lose an extra hero, and then also having to maybe chase out a bit more. I mean, they still end up getting the kills, but I think if the positioning had been just even slightly more to one direction, it wouldn't have been that big of a block-off. But still, BP trying to make something out of nothing here. They're going to go for the Rosh. Right now, Navi do not seem to know about this. They do not have any vision near the Roshan pit pretty much at all. The only word they have is deep inside BP's woods. And Dendi making his way towards that BKB. He's going to have it very soon. But this Roshan sneak is actually huge for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, that means all in all in the last 2 minutes they have had the better exchange. I think the 2 extra heroes they lost in that fight ultimately resulting in them being able to take Rosh because Navi have big abilities on cooldown is worth it for sure. Wait, what is this build-up from Phobos? He's going Vlad's first after drums. This is...
It's a bit interesting.
I can say with almost 100% confidence that this item build has never been... Like, it's never been used by anyone on almost any hero. Like, drums, Vlad's. I guess if there's a hero you have seen it on in the past, it would be something like a PL, maybe. But on a Kunkka, this is very unusual. But I think it's pretty good.
If you're using him just for the fact that he has like the Ghost Ship to be able to reduce damage, you get Vlad's, you get 2 auras going with the drums and the armor, of course. The lifesteal's not too bad either. You are up against the Shadow Fiend, so negating a good portion of presence of the Dark Lord isn't a bad thing by any means. I don't think it's a bad build. I just think it's different. So if Virtus.Pro can utilize their Aegis and they can make this Vlad's build work on the Kunkka, I think you were on point when you said that the Ghost Ship buff is going to be huge in all of these engagements. Just imagine if he had thrown out a decent boat in the beginning of the fight that actually like reduced damage coming out from Navi. That could have been the make or break for them. Although Navi did disengage very well during that. But VP now.
Oh, wow.
Oh my, are you serious
sucks.
right now? That rocket is actually the MVP.
The question is if Navi are going to react to it. They didn't ping, but they might have talked about it. Like, usually when you see something like that, it's just...
Oh, they don't know.
It's just intuitive for your player to, when they notice something like that, you just ping. Even if you're going to say it anyway, you ping the map.
I actually don't think they know, because Funnick would not be farming this lane.
Oh, yep. Dendi is going to break the smoke. Lil might be aware of this. Very fast blink.
Yeah.
This is going to fail. They don't even force out a BKB charge, and ultimately the smoke is completely wasted. They didn't even ward. So very nice.
A little painful. Illidan actually just walking between towers here. He's going to force a blink away from Artstyle, and Seneko, he's going to go ahead and pop his haste rune. Tower under siege. Funnick not TPing back just yet. Going to see a call down come out. They will catch Illidan with a little bit of damage. Phobos throwing out the Torrent. A little bit of zoning. And I think they should be able to get this. Might try to go for a deny, though. On the side of Navi, Disrupt comes out. It's onto the Wisp. This is the perfect target. Can they actually take him? Oh my god, yes they can. Okay, Soul Catcher plus Lashrak is pain. And a lot of it.
King ports in. He blinks defensively. Immediately gets purged, though. Is there a counterplay available? Kvost will be running away from the Bristleback. He will make it out as well. And it's only going to be 1 kill going the way of VP. They also got the tower and didn't even use their Aegis there. I mean, we're not there yet, but there is definitely a pattern in this series. VP may be coming back once again.
But this one is not really just off the back of good rotations for VP. It's that Roshan sneak.
Yeah.
Like, without that, they don't even try to push that tower. Like, it is way, way too risky. So, in the end, I think if VP continue on this path, we can attribute a lot of the reason they've come back just off that fact alone. But right now, it's 14-14. Dendi's still towering over the net worth. He's got his BKB completed, and he's up to another 1,600 gold.
And there's actually an important thing to keep in mind when you look at the net worth graph, is that it's a 6k gold for Na'Vi lead. The entire lead is on Dendi.
Yes.
So if the other heroes get into a fight, or if Dendi somehow gets targeted out, VP are ahead in the fight. And it's a little bit deceptive when you're fighting into a team with Kunkka always, where you can feel like you're on top of the world and you're super strong, but all your abilities deal half damage. And that allows for a hero like Bristleback to be like god tier in fights. He stays alive for so long that he'll be able to stack up a lot of quills. He even has the BKB now unused.
Oh, Illidan, he wants to try to run it off here. DK Phobos, though, getting caught out by the Fissure and the Burrow Strike from Funnick. That's going to be enough to get a kill. Torrent,
oh, nice force down.
Lands on one. Illidan's still alive. Has that Aegis available. Reload kick going to be coming out from Seneko just to move a little bit out of the fight. Havos getting chased down by G. Freshly purchased BKB is just running him down into the forest.
Oh,
nice
Fissure.
Defensive Fissure from Artstyle. A blink away. And relocate coming in from Seneko as well. Here comes the Epicenter and the Echo Slam. They will clean up the Bristleback here. G drops Illidan, sacrificing his Aegis. I think Na'Vi might be able to kill him again. FNG does not have anything left in the tank to help here. Illidan getting caught out. Pulse Nova still dealing quite a bit of damage to the side of Na'Vi. The stun comes out, but it's a complete whiff. The Lightning Strike coming in. Illidan is still alive for the time being. Eventually does drop, and it is a full team wipe, including Aegis, going the way of Na'Vi.
And that defensive Fissure saving Frost actually ends up maybe winning them the fight entirely. If he dies there and they can snowball a bit of that with a Bristleback, they might come back strong in that fight.
I don't even...
You know, the really key thing when it comes to initiating for Na'Vi is that they kill Kunkka first. Like that determines the... Like, it didn't determine the fight immediately, but if he gets any ship off, like even if it hits no enemy heroes, just hits the allies, VP can probably just run them down and get a couple of kills before the effect goes off, and then maybe Na'Vi can turn it, but at least they get a better fight going VP's way. That is the single best hero they can catch, and they did it.
I think Seneko actually being able to defensively relocate in that fight, that's also going to be a constant problem too. If you allow him to just reposition heroes who are being focused down, it's going to become such a nightmare to be able to take down anyone. And really, VP don't have a ton of disables. Like, they got a Torrent and a stun. Sure, you have your Lightning Slow and your Grave Chill, that's all well and good, but yeah.
Not reliable.
Not as reliable. I mean, if you land one stun, if somebody doesn't BKB or you don't see any like defensive spells coming out, you could probably still land it, but I gotta say, Na'Vi, very impressive team fight right there, to say the least. They managed to completely wipe VP off the map, get the Aegis on top of that. And with that fight, I think that VP kind of need to stop the next Roshan. Like, if they don't, Na'Vi, like, it's just too much. Like, with Dendi already being so far ahead, you mentioned the fact that Dendi was pretty much a net worth lead. That's not so much the case anymore. And if they win like 1 or 2 extra fights, it could just become too much for VP to handle.
Well, the good news for VP is that Lil is actually getting very farmed on Visage, and he is an exceptional Visage player, closing in on the Ag Scepter with Solar Crest minute 30 after their weak early game.
He's actually rich.
He's looking to get very strong. He's actually above his own Kunkka and has way more net worth than the 2 other supports of Na'Vi. Of course, the sacrificial lamb this game will be FNG, who has like no net worth. 1800 minute 28 is very low. But he has a hero who can do very much with very little farm. So
yeah,
it might work out for them. It's still a clear advantage for Na'Vi. But you've got the feeling that, especially given how we've seen VP take fights in the previous games, if Na'Vi make a single misstep, it could have really fatal consequences where they don't only lose a fight, but they actually get completely destroyed, even with a 10k lead. There's some heroes in the game that allow you to take fights like that. Like,
you mean Leshrac?
Leshrac is really good when you're behind, or not if he is very far behind, but even like his net worth can be extremely powerful just with a couple core items. I want to put Kunkka in that category, who can really just, like, if you take the fight correctly, he can be worth his net worth times 2 to almost 3, just because of Ghost Ship. And then you have, of course, the really old school heroes like Spectre, who even when 5 or 6 or 7,000 net worth behind the enemy carries can output more damage and be more of a threat in the late game. So
yeah, very, very true.
VP has some interesting heroes going forward.
We also should keep in mind that after that little engagement, even though VP didn't win it, Illidan managed to pick up a fresh BKB. So that's 10 seconds. Still a lot of magic damage on the side of Na'Vi to worry about. Right now, Havos, he's pretty farmed. He's got his SNY, BKB, some treads. So he hits kind of hard. Dendi hits kind of hard with right clicks. But I think still the primary threat are things like Echo and Epicenter and taking out the Leshen fights. If he can just get point blank for a little while with that Ghost Ship buff and a BKB, he can lay some serious hurt on Na'Vi.
Speaking of Na'Vi, they're gathering up in the mid, looking for a smoke. Oh,
maybe trying to bait out the BKB here. Oh, Havos doesn't pop it, feeling pretty safe. Okay, defensive relocate instead.
Nice. It's whenever they can get away with that defensive relocating instead of BKBing, it's the right play, I think. Just keeping the BKB high is very important. They're actually just going to turn it on VP. FNG is done. Torrent is not going to land on anything, and Na'Vi are hungry. They're going to go for more. Fissure is going to land on Illidan. They're going to Yule him as well. He does have BKB, will use it. Ghost Ship as well coming over the top, but it's hitting only 2 BKB targets. He's going to have to tanky Ghost Ship right here. Blink Burrow from Funnick, finding G. He has BKB, but he's being stun-locked really hard. And Dendi with the Scotty is slowing him down so much they will be able to bring down him as well. Bird's being claimed as well, and nothing really seeming to go in VP's way. Na'Vi just keeping on running them down. Lil now on the receiving end as well, and should be falling here unless he can make some miraculous escape with a TP. Nope, not the case. 3-0 for Na'Vi, and probably a 2-2. Oh, wait a second, maybe closed.
I don't know about this one. Illidan, he does not have quite enough in the tank to kill. He's going to have to suicide. Here comes the Epicenter. FNG just drops straight away. Funnick with the burrow onto Phobos, and Na'Vi just seem to be snowballing after this good start in mid-game. They're going to take the tier 2 tower.
This is Rex.
That entire engagement, like, even with the boat buff, they had to use it on just the one hero. G gets caught out after the fact, unable to pop his BKB at all, just gets completely smashed, and it seems like VP, in a lot of circumstances, they're able to come back. I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from this one.
Probably not.
Probably not. Confirmed. Maybe not. This, I mean, it's been a great series regardless. So if you're VP, even if you end up not winning this game and you drop to the lower bracket, you still got another chance. And I would say this caliber of series alone, it does put Na'Vi and VP on another level.
Yeah, I think regardless of who loses this series, as we talked about earlier, goes in as favorites against NIP tomorrow. It's going to be a best of 5 as well, so you can't really get cheesed 3 games in a row. You can't really be surprised by some sort of strategy that catches you off guard and get more than 1 loss off it. And if they're just, as we both agree in this series, are playing consistently on another level, then VP's chances in that series is very, very low. They're going to have to bring their A game as Dendi just poured out here, gets Glimmer Cape by Soneko and ports away. And yeah, with that said, if the loser of this beats NIP, they will basically just have a rematch in best of 5 with no advantage. So this is, of course, you want to be in the winner's bracket, you want to get to watch that other series and just relax knowing you're in the finals, but by no means.
Oh, Havos, he's taking a little bit of damage here. The Soul Catcher is applied. G's going to pop his own BKB. They're trying to chase him out, but not going to be able to really do a whole heck of a lot. And Na'Vi, they do not want this to happen at all. Like, they are going to try to fight this. If nothing else, here comes the Epicenter. Funnick looking for a burrow. He's going to go inside of the pit. Burrow doesn't really hit anything. Illidan pops a BKB. Artstyle goes in with the Echo Slam. G almost evaporating immediately to that damage. They're going to find another kill. Godlike for Dendi. It's a double for Havos in the meantime as he picks off FNG and G. And DK Phobos, he can do nothing but run away at this point. There's just
nice
nothing they can do.
Dendi.
Oh my god.
Blink's 400 range to the right, dodging
It is
splitters,
a total team wipe.
They are done again. Roche being claimed by Na'Vi. 20,000 gold leads, same on experience, actually even more on experience. This is getting out of hand.
Yeah, these fights just Na'Vi always getting the better position. I think it was kind of a last-ditch effort from VP to go for Roshan in this case, because they did force Dendi to TP away. I can see how mentally you think, all right, maybe we bought enough time for ourselves to go in here, try to make something happen. We got Roshan once, it kept us in the game. If they were able to get it again, maybe they miraculously defend their base for a little while longer, get some core items up, and continue to try to roll through. But I don't know, man. This is seeming like Na'Vi have accrued enough of a lead to just straight up end it.
Yeah. And here comes the axe that we were talking about earlier. It got delayed quite a bit for Lil, who, by the way, wait, never mind. I was misreading the score.
Lil's had a pretty good game, given the circumstances. I mean, they've been kind of on the back foot for a while now. He still managed to get Aghanim Solar Crest at a pretty decent timing. I just think that these games really boil down to a couple of fights. Like, that's when you know that teams are evenly matched, when usually the main indicator of who wins is who just fights better. And I also think that makes for the most entertaining series.
What are you going to do now for your VP? You have... Do they even have a smoke?
I can check if they have one. They do not have one at shop.
By the way, I would definitely agree
No,
with
they
their
don't.
choice of fighting in the Roche Pit and just going for it. Because a mistake I think a lot of teams make when they're really far behind is that they just accept it and hide in their base. And then you're never coming back, right? You have to try... Oh, okay.
God. Maybe not necessary, but some style points there for Dendy.
But yeah, if you just accept being locked in your base and you let the enemy team take all the objectives they want, like Roshan and just farming jungle and taking your towers and whatnot, you will lose the game. So even if you... Let's say they knew they were 15,000 behind, I think they would have made the same play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of going to Roche, because you can't just accept being cornered like that. And Na'Vi just outclassed them in these fights by... In this game, I think it was the clearest outplay out of the 3 we've seen.
Yeah.
Na'Vi have just been taking consistently better fights.
It even goes back to that early game where Seneca was able to have an impact on the mid so heavily. Havos is going to eat a stun here. Both teams kind of just trading harass for the time being. Torrent's going to be off the mark. Dendy going for the siege. Funnick goes in.
double
Burrow
barrel.
strike on 2. Fissure to follow it up.
Goodbye.
Not even time for BKBs. Artstyle's going to eat a boat here, but he'll be fine. Funnick going for the epicenter now. He's just going to spend it on FNG. 4 steps forward into a blink, into another double burrow. Can anyone stop Funnick in this game?
Over.
This Sand King. What a performance coming out from Funnick. Na'Vi, they've got to be feeling good. They've secured themselves a spot in the grand finals here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, taking out Virtus.Pro 2-1.
What a great series.
I think by far the best series of the tournament. Like, hands down.
And the really good thing about this going forward to tomorrow, as we have 2 best-of-5s, is that either we're going to see this series again in a best-of-5, or NIP are going to be playing really well tomorrow to beat VP.